Lent journey. This week's focus has been on fasting. So we're just getting started. So I'll give it a couple of seconds just to get people on board. I pray that everyone had a great day. Things are going well. It just can be amazing at times how God just does things and move, to move in things. So today was a very productive day for me. I was not in the corporate sponsor today. So I tell anybody that is a blessing. I was able to have some downtime to do some, just relaxing. I ran a few errands, but then I literally just slept. Hi, Sister Marilyn, how are you? So I really just slept in today, kind of didn't do anything, was just chillaxing. That's kind of what I did today. So I'm really, really grateful that I had that time to do such amazing, lovely things. So what was I going to do? I think we're okay. We're almost at about another 30 seconds or so. And we will be going full-fledged and full steam ahead with this lovely thing. And so we'll be good to go. Awesome. So I think I see everybody. Ernie? Let me just do something. Okay. Fasting. Full-fledged and full steam. Forgive that. Ahead. Okay. I think we're on the right track and we are ready to go. Apologize for the double play. I don't have the secondary computer, so everything's running off the first, and you gotta, make things quiet, silence them, all that other good and lovely stuff. So, but again, this is week 4 of our Lent journey. This week's focus was fasting. Our daily, prayer request was to Lord, deepen our focus on you. And today's topic is socially aware fasting. And it is something that can be very different. And the reason I say that is because when you decide to fast and pray and really seek God, you don't think about all the other things that you become so aware of when you fast. And that is where fasting, comes into play, social aware fasting. If you think about fasting when it's really genuine, it really brings an awareness as to what is going on around us. So we have 2 scriptures today. We have our main scripture that's been for the entire week, which is Matthew 6, 16 and 18. And it says, in the New Living Translation, it says, and when you fast, don't make it obvious as hypocrites do, for they do it to look miserable and disheveled, so people will admire them for their fasting. I tell you the truth, that is the only reward they'll ever get. But when you fast, comb your hair, wash your face, then no one will notice you are fasting except for the Father, who knows what you do in private. And your Father who sees everything will reward you. When it comes to socially aware fasting, we have a supplementary scripture for today's devotional, and that is Isaiah, the 58th chapter, and verses 6 through 7. And let me just pull that up because I originally had it in the King James Version, and I like the reading in the New International Version a little bit better. And it says, it is not the kind of fasting I've chosen, to loose the chains of injustice and untie the cords of the yoke, to set the oppressed free and to break every yoke. It is not to share your food with the hungry and provide the poor wanderer with shelter when you see the naked, to clothe them and not turn away from your own flesh and blood. And that is what happens when you are doing fasting for the right reasons. You begin to see these things that's going on. You're more responsive, to the needs that are around us, whether it's, you may have been doing a lot of social activity or community activity prior to fasting, but once you're fasting, because you're that one-on-one with God and you're listening and you're tuned into what he has to say, you get to see things in a little bit more crystal clear version. Because fasting, what you've done is you've deprived yourself of whether it's food, clothing, whatever it is you said that you're going to give up so that you can focus on God, because that is not in the way and that you have this direct communication with him. You see things around you that normally when you had distractions or when you was just about your daily life, we have maybe forgotten about. And yes, we do that. We don't always pay attention to what is going on. Now, I'm not talking about those who just willfully misuse the system. For example, Today, I was just doing some errands and somebody was like, do you have any change? And I said, no, I don't have any change. Honestly, I have not carried cash in years. Once they started taking debit cards and credit cards everywhere, I never have cash on me. But I said, like, if you're hungry, I'm going in here to get something to eat. You are welcome to join me. And the person was like, well, no, I just want the cash. I'm like, I don't have any cash. But it's just those, you can't let instances like that to deter you from doing good. You have to be, of course, in this day and age, you have to be careful. You have to be conscious of your surroundings. You can't do things like we would just used to do back in the day. We would just do them and always be there and have people, help people and, give people rides or whatever. Yes, unfortunately, we have to be a little bit more conscious of what we do. However, there's so many different organizations and things that you can do during the day that you can partner with groups of people that, you can move forward and be, help the community as a whole. Now, when people say, I saw a colleague's post on Facebook today that they were getting so discouraged about, like, we're trying to help the community, we're trying to do things, and there's no support. And, to shed light on that, yes, that is disheartening. Sometimes we, get burnt out and things like that. But the reason why there's no support is because we're so still wrapped up in our own stuff. So we can't see outside of what someone else may need or what someone else is desiring because we are so wrapped up in us. And so with fasting, that allows us to remove us out of the equation and to see through God's lens what is needed and how we can effectively make change within the community. And what I do love about this time of year, and even with fasting and having focus with him, he's going to direct you on how to assist and, with whom to partner with. Like, you don't just say, okay, I just had this epiphany and I'm just going to do this. And there's no guide, no rhyme, no reason, no plan. Because God never is about confusion. He is never an author of confusion. So therefore, he is going to be always methodical and meticulous on what he is doing and how he's doing and how he's going to lead you. And I always allow him to lead, because you don't want to put yourself in a situation or put someone else in a situation. And yes, I say that, unfortunately, these are the days and the times that we are living in. Because I know when I used to drive and I would have little care packets in my car, and you see somebody, you would just give them out and whatever. Unfortunately, there's times you just can't do that anymore. I felt bad for a woman who did that and she lost her life. And it's just like, so how do we work diligently so that we can be aware not only of what is going on around us, but to assist what is going on. Now, for those who are connected with ministries and community groups, they should be having something that's going on a consistent basis. They should have something where you can partner with, whether it's a weekly feeding or a monthly feeding, and my thing is like, it doesn't have to be on the holidays. You yourself, I'm going to get together a number of care packets and I'm going to take it to a local shelter, or I'm going to take it to a local outreach group who that's what they do. They're canvassing the streets to, help and give out food or whatever. We all can do our part and partner with others to do so. So imagine, and for me, I'm gonna tell you right now, if as a kid, I'm going to always help. I mean, I think that, it's not going to cause me any danger, but if it's a child, I'm always going to help. I'm going to figure out immediately how I can help. And that's just me when it comes to children. But we have so many options to just be aware of what is going on. And I love the Lent season because when I am focusing on God and just removing things out of my life that is not allowing me to focus on him, and I'm tuning in these 6 weeks, these 40 plus days, just to hear what he has for me and what he needs from me, there's so many things that he will drop in your spirit. And I've been diligently writing things down, things he wants me to do, things he wants me to set up. And I know it may be like that for a lot of people when he's talking to you. That is why I have a journal always. I have notebooks. Trust me, get a 5-subject notebook. It doesn't have to be a fancy journal. A 5-subject notebook will do you well. You can get them inexpensively. And then too, kids are going back to school. You'll be able to get them real cheap. That's when I collect mine. But as he's pouring into us, write those ideas down, write those things down. And then what you do is you formulate it and you consult the Father and have him give you the plan and work the plan. Sometimes what happens is like why we cannot be effectively when it comes to being socially responsible and socially aware and helping is sometimes God gives us things and we speak too soon. We put it in the atmosphere too soon before it is mature enough to be in the atmosphere. And the enemy does what he does best, distracts and kills. So now, you put it out there and people are just like, well, I don't think that's going to work. How are you going to do that? You have all these naysayers, and what they've done is that they've torn you down and they've hurt your feelings. And now you don't feel like it's a great idea. And so therefore you back away. And unfortunately, what happened is the enemy is sitting back laughing because he's successfully done what his job is, and that is to distract and to destroy. That's his job. All day long, 24/7, 365, that is his job. And so sometimes we have to take the things that God gives us and keep it really, really close. And you may say, well, how do I know when it's time to put it out there? He'll let you know. Because it'll all begin to come together, things and people, there'll be confirmation. There'll be other things that will fall into play when it's time to put it in the atmosphere. But sometimes when he has given us stuff, we have to cultivate it in our hearts and our minds. We have to pray over it. We have to meditate on it. We have to write out the vision. Because you got to write the vision. You got to make it plain. You can't have a partial vision and then no wonder no one's buying into it. And you have those people that just not going to buy into it no matter what you do. No matter what you do, they're not going to buy into it. And so we're not doing that to pull people in or to say, oh, look at what I'm doing, because God is going to reward me with that. So what people will think, how they will think about it, then it'll be easier to maneuver when God tells us to maneuver. Because I know even for myself, and it may not be for most of you who's watching, live or on the replay. However, for me, sometimes for a long time, I was very concerned and involved and engulfed with what people thought and how they thought when it came to certain projects or certain things I was doing. Like I wanted them to like it and I wanted them to be for it and things like that. And at the end of the day, it didn't matter, because the same people that shot it down, the next week later, they were shooting someone else down. And then they will be coming to you. They're the ones that come to you and be like, oh, well, what do you think about that? Or how can we do that? Or, oh my goodness, look at what everything is going on in the world. So remember, don't be upset with the person who does. because they have been basically they're a tool. They're a tool of the enemy to distract us. And so what the enemy does is he distracts us and he causes confusion, and then we don't recognize or blame the proper person. And then we blame the person that's brought it to us or said something to us or hurt us. And then we're blaming them and we're so angry at them. And he's back there creating other drama and craziness. So what we have to do is be like, you know what? I'm going to listen to what God has to say. I am going to tune in to what he needs and how he needs it so that we can move forward. And that means there's a lot that's going on today. And it can be so disheartening. It can be so draining. It can just, when I say draining emotionally, there's each and every day when I have the time to just scroll through my timeline. Can be sometimes depressing with all the things that are going on, So, I mean, even if you watch the news, double that, 10 times dump on it. And so there is times when you have to fast, when you have to seek him and ask him to direct you on to do how you need to do it. Because a lot of these things we can't do by ourselves. Forget a lot. Any of this stuff we can't do by ourselves. We can't, change the world with the blink of an eye. We need the Father. Many of us think that, okay, we can change the world. Yes, we can change the world, but it's with the help of the Father. It is with his help and his help alone. Because if we try to do it ourselves, it always ends up craziness. And so as we are pouring into people and we're helping people and we're directing and guiding them to where they need to be or being that example of what they're looking to be, it takes God's help, his communication with us, our relationship with him, our willingness to be obedient to what he wants and needs for our purpose to go forward. It is never about us. It is never of our own understanding, our own will, our own power, or our own knowledge. It is always, always the Father. Complete always. Now, what do I want y'all to do this evening as we wrap up this week of fasting? Continue on with your prayer. Lord, deepen our focus for you. Definitely continue with the prayer. Also, I want you to read Isaiah 58, 6 and 7. And I want you to think about what it is he's saying. Hi, Sister Maria. I want you to think about what it is he's saying. And basically, how do you honestly respond to what he's saying? What do you sense God may be saying to you as you're reading this scripture? Is there one way in which you can take seriously God's challenge, about being socially aware, within the next 24, 48 hours? Be specific, be creative and as practical as possible. But let God direct you. Again, get a journal. I'm going to stop saying journal. Get a 5-subject notebook. Get a single subject notebook as your journal and spice it out, bling it out, color it. If you have little people, this is what you do. You get a 5-subject notebook and you get some craft items and you have them decorate your book for you. Or get a 2-subject or a single subject. It depends. And it can be a Saturday craft session. And you can put a section where it's going to be your journal and a date. And have them decorate your journal book for you. Awesome. Inexpensive. It's called go to the dollar store and get books. And I say this because so many times we spend that kind of money on journals and we're like, trust me, if you get a true journal and a thing, you can spend 10, 15 and upwards. Go to the dollar store, get some notebooks, get some craft stuff, and let your little people decorate them for you. And then you know what it is? It's a great thing that you could, have for when they get older and they want to read through or as they're going through their journey to of belief. It's something that you can pass on and pass down. That's why I'm an avid believer of journaling, because it is the stories, the memories, or whatever that can be passed on to the next generation when we're not here. So definitely take advantage of every thought. And I don't mean just like the homework assignments that we have here or anything that I ask you to do. I mean your day to day. There has been journals that I've looked back on from 15 years ago, and yes, I still have my notebooks. I got tons of them. But I was reading one the other day, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I was so angry. I was so bitter. When I tell you that I must have wrote 15 pages, and this was around the time about my divorce and whatever, which was about 15 years ago. Oh my goodness, I was so filled with rage and anger and bitterness. And it's just to read it and to see where I'm at now is just like night and day, crystal clear night and day. But it was a great reminder of how God had brought me through. And, even if you have children, if you have grandchildren, godchildren, it's a great way to see that, so they can see your journey. If we're not here, they can see what it took to get from point A to point B. Because when, people come into your life at a point in your life, they come at a point in your life when you have gone through the trials and the tribulations and the circumstances. So they don't understand what you went through and what you were before you got there. So journaling is a great way to pass that on down to the grandchildren, even your children. Because it just lets them know that, oh my goodness, if I make a mistake, it's okay. I'm going to be good because mommy was good. Mama was good. Auntie was good. So we have to start doing that with our youth. We have to, because they think making a mistake is the end all be all. They don't know that they can make a mistake and get back up and, do better. They make a mistake, and then because they think they've done the worst of everything, they continue making those mistakes and spiraling. So let us join the process of being transparent to our youth so that they know that they can move forward from a mistake. Consequences, move forward and not be the person that did that. They can evolve, they can grow, they can be better. So, that is my spiel for this evening. Now, if you are watching live, I love you. I love everyone. Mwah. If you are watching on a replay, listen, come on, join us in Facebook. The Facebook group is YB Devotionals. You can follow me on Periscope at Juanita Gaynor. You can just subscribe on YouTube. Come and join us. It is a wonderful, wonderful family to be a part of. We are always doing great and amazing things. It's a great, support. And for those who are in the group that watch later, I love you too and appreciate you also. So if you haven't joined the group, join the group. We have so many wonderful things coming into play. Next week, we are going on week 5 of the Lent journey. And then right after that, we're going into Holy Week, which is Palm Sunday through Good Friday and leading up to Easter Sunday. So it's just like, it is amazing what, if you think about 4 weeks ago, when this journey started, we got 2 more weeks before Easter. Isn't that great? For most people, it's, spending time with the kids and the family and having a great dinner, but it's also a time to just remember what God did for us. So I want everyone to enjoy their weekend, enjoy their evening. I will be updating the group starting tonight through tomorrow. So all of the notes and all of everything is in the group so that you can access it. So don't worry about that. And also preparing for next week. Yay. So we will be back Monday at 8 p.m., the same time, same location. Know that I love you guys and I want you to be so blessed. Keep Sister Maria in prayer. I will post that more so in the group, more detail on that. And I'm just not going to say it because we are streaming to other platforms. And so therefore, I'll just share that particular in the group, but definitely keep her in prayer and keep her lifted. And also, Minister Peterson, keep her lifted and in prayer. She is doing a workshop that she is preparing for those who want to be writers, and she has so many other things that she has going on, preparing with the book and anthology project, which I'm proudly a part of. So definitely pray her strength and keep her in prayer. So if I've missed anyone, and the rest of my other road crew, Sister Marilyn, Sister Pauline, those are my original road crew. I see Sister Kayla always joins us occasionally, so keep her lifted in prayer as well. So my whole road crew that be watching me, I love y'all fully, fully, fully. So have a great evening. I love you. Be blessed. And we are going to have a great night. Have a great one. Take care.